Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's video we're going to discuss about a topic of solid state, that is imperfections in a given solid crystal. So as we have discussed in the previous classes about the solid crystals which you have formed, if you remember, the crystalline solid structures has long range order, that is the similar type of analysis shown that the atoms or elements present in that solid crystal will be arranged in the same order for a longer distance, that is the long range order. So now whenever we consider a complete solid crystal, all the solid crystals will not be 100% perfect. That being said, we could consider some certain amount of imperfection can be found in a solid crystal. So in a crystalline solid or crystal lattice. So that type of imperfections are classified into two types. One is a point defect. These imperfections can also be called defect. So therefore, there are two types of imperfections or defects. Those are point defect and the second one is line defect. One is point defect and the other one is line defect. A point defect is one in which a crystal lattice has a defect at certain lattice site. If you consider this as a site of a crystal lattice, so if there is just one imperfection present at this particular point site, then that kind of a defect is called point defect. If the complete line, this complete column, has defect present in it, then that type of defect is called the line defect. Okay, if a solid crystal lattice has only one defect, has defect present at a particular site, then that type of defect is called point defect. If a crystal lattice has a series of defects continuous to one another in a form of line, then that type of defect is called line defect. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about point defect and its different types. So as I said, point defect is nothing but the defect caused at a particular site of the crystal lattice. So if there is a defect present in a crystal lattice at its particular lattice site, then that is the point defect. So depending on this, we have classified point defect into three types. Point defect is being classified into three types. Those are, first one, stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric defect. Second one, impurity defect. Impurity defect. Third one, non-stoichiometric defect. Stoichiometric defect, impurity defect, and the last one, non-stoichiometric defect. So out of these three, stoichiometric defect are further classified into four parts. Stoichiometric is further classified into four types: vacancy defect, interstitial defect, next is Frenkel defect, and the last one is Schottky defect. And in the same wise, non-stoichiometric are classified into two types. One is metal excess defect and the other one is metal deficiency defect. Metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So out of this, impurity defect is just one type. Stoichiometric is classified into four: vacancy, interstitial, Frenkel and Schottky. Non-stoichiometric is classified into two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Out of these, the stoichiometric defect is often found in both ionic solids and non-ionic solids. Therefore, depending on the form of solids which you are finding the defect, we classify them. This vacancy and interstitial are usually found in non-ionic solids. These are found in non-ionic solids, whereas Frenkel and Schottky are found in ionic solids. Frenkel and Schottky defects are found in ionic solids, and metal excess and metal deficiency defects are found in metallic solids. Metallic solids. Okay, so now we'll discuss about vacancy defect. So vacancy defect is said as a vacancy defect is called a defect arising because of a vacancy created by the particle of a non-ionic solid. Let us consider a particle system of a crystal solid such as like this. So if these are the particles arranged in the non-ionic solids, if one of the particle is completely vacant, so let us say this particle is not over there in its actual site, then this position or this particular site is called the vacant site. This site is called the vacant site. So this vacant site is nothing but the vacancy defect arise because of a vacant site present. So if a non-ionic solid, if in a non-ionic solid a particle is not present in its actual lattice site, that creates a vacancy. So that kind of a defect is called vacancy defect. Okay, so this defect is called the vacancy defect. That is, whenever if a crystal lattice has a vacancy in its one of lattice site, then that defect is called vacancy defect. Now the next one, interstitial defect. Next one, interstitial defect. So interstitial defect arises when there is an additional particle present in a non-ionic solid. If we consider the same structure, if you consider the similar atom, and this is the normal lattice points of a crystal lattice. If there is an additional atom present or additional particle present in somewhere at this interstitial site, so it is a non-regular crystal lattice site. So if there is an additional particle present in a non-regular lattice site, then that site is called interstitial site, and the complete defect arised by this kind of an effect is called interstitial defect. So this is our interstitial defect. So a solid, crystalline solid is said to have an interstitial defect if it has an additional particle present in an interstitial site. Okay, so this is about the interstitial defect. Remember, these two are always for non-ionic solids, hence I am saying these are the particles present in the interstitial site or the particle absent in its normal site, which creates a vacancy. Okay, now for the Frenkel and Schottky defect, we use ionic solids. So instead of writing these boxes or circles, we'll write positive cations and anions. In order to detect Frenkel and Schottky defect, we might have to use cations and anions in the positions of these particles which I have taken. So now Frenkel and Schottky defect. So Frenkel defect, it arises when the ions present or ions forming an ionic solid are having a huge difference in their sizes. So Frenkel defect arises when the cations and anions have very huge difference in their sizes. That is, if one of the ions is smaller, then that ion skips its lattice site and creates a vacancy over there and gets positioned themselves at a different position, a different site, and thus creating an interstitial effect also, such as, like for example, if you consider this as the lattice site, so if I write positive ions in smaller size, such as like this, and negative charged in a bigger size, or anions in a big size. So if we find a positive charged ion somewhere at an interstitial position. So now this is the particular arrangement of our ions. There are 6 cations and 6 anions. So what happens here in the Frenkel defect is one of the positive charged ions or the cations creates a vacancy in its original lattice site and gets positioned in a different part or different site. So thus creating both interstitial and vacancy defect at a time in an ionic solid. So Frenkel defect is a defect in which both vacancy and interstitial defect arises in a ionic solid. So an ionic solid is said to be having a Frenkel defect if there is a vacancy and along with an interstitial occupancy of an ion, especially the ion with smaller size. Okay, usually the ions present in the Frenkel defect will always be cation because cations are smaller in size when compared to anions. And further, if you observe correctly, Frenkel defect does not have any change in charge. Okay, so there is no change in charge density. There is equal number of cations and anions as we have it in the earlier cases. Okay, but in case of Schottky defect we find something different. Okay, this is about the Frenkel defect. Next is Schottky defect. So in case of Schottky defect, what we observe is if a cation or anion, it's clearly a vacancy kind of a defect. Schottky defect is a type of vacancy defect. So what happens in Schottky defect is, if you consider this as our ion structure with positive and negative charges alternatively next to one another. Let us say we have lost a complete ion from its position. A cation or anion may be different, it doesn't matter which we are taking. So what happens is, let us say I am removing this negative charged ion, that is we have found the defect of vacancy created at this position of losing a negative charged cation, so anion. What happens in the Schottky defect is, then vacancy created because of the loss of an anion is neutralized by loss of proton or loss of cation. So if we lose a cation for this condition, then we achieve electrical neutrality. Hence this type of defect is called Schottky defect. That means in a Schottky defect having crystals, those crystals lose a proton, lose a cation or anion with respect to what it has lost in the initial position, such that to maintain its electrical neutrality. So if we observe over here, the number of positive charged cations and anions are a bit less when compared to its initial structure, right? Therefore we can say Schottky defect has a density decreased, that is charge density decreased, whereas in case of Frenkel defect we observe there is no change in charge density. There were equal number of cations and anions as we have stated earlier, but in case of Schottky defect we observe the number of cations and anions, even though they are same in equal numbers, but they will not be same as that of the parent structure. So this is about the Schottky defect and the whole stoichiometric defect. So we have 4 types of stoichiometric defect. Vacancy defect, that is a non-ionic solid has lost a particle creating a vacancy in its original lattice site. Interstitial, if a non-ionic solid has an additional particle in its non-lattice site. Frenkel defect, if an ionic solid has lost its ion, it has not lost its ions, but it has shifted its position of ion site from its original site to an interstitial site. Whereas Schottky defect has an ionic solid where both cation and anion will be lost in order to obtain electrical neutrality, for which the earlier ion which has been lost. If anion has been lost earlier, then we lose cation to get electrical neutrality. If we have lost cation, then the solid structure will lose anion to maintain electrical neutrality. So this is about Schottky defect. So next we'll discuss about impurity defect. Next we'll discuss about impurity defect. So we know impurity. So impurity is a substance which is not meant to be in its place of an ore, but it is found in a ore which we don't want, which you have to extract. Like for example, we have some impurities in kinds of gold. When we extract gold, we find some impurities of copper. So impurity defect is one in which a solid crystal has certain impurities in order to maintain its structural composition. Like for example, if you consider a sodium chloride crystal, let us draw the sodium chloride ion structure. So this is Na, and we have Cl minus with a bigger size, one more Cl minus. Now over here, just say one more over here, and we have Na plus in its alternative positions. So this is our NaCl structure. So if one of the Na plus ions or one or two of Na plus ions is replaced by a different metal or a different element with its particular charges, then what happens is we create a vacancy and we are adding an impurity. Like for example, if I replace two of the Na plus ions, by one strontium ion Sr2 plus. So now what we have to observe over here is, even though I have replaced two atoms of Na by one atom of Sr2 plus, the complete charge density is similar. The charge density is not at all changed. That means the complete compound is maintaining its electrical neutrality. So in this complete structure of NaCl, we have an impurity Sr2 plus which is maintaining its structural composition. So if a solid has an impurity, even though it has a particular structural composition intact, then that kind of a defect is called impurity defect. So a crystalline solid is said to have impurity defect if it has an impurity present in it, which even though in its presence maintaining the complete electrical neutrality of the given solid crystal. So this type of defect is called impurity defect. So in this case, we are replacing two atoms of Na plus by Sr2 plus ion. So therefore the total charge will be same. There will be no change in the charge. Okay. So this is about our impurity defect. So next we are going to discuss about our non-stoichiometric defects, in that metal excess and metal deficient. So next we are going to discuss about metal excess effect. So metal excess defect. So metal excess defect is caused because of anions. Metal excess defect is caused because of anions. So for this, in order to explain the metal excess defect, because as it is very important from the point of view of our syllabus, metal excess defect is formed in example of sodium chloride crystal. So when sodium ions are heated along with chloride gas, sodium ions gets vaporized and collects at the surface, such as like this. Okay, the Cl gas which is passed on over here is getting accumulated on the surface because of its surface attraction. Now when sodium ion is reacting with chlorine atom, sodium loses an electron, right? Sodium loses an electron to form Na plus. When this chloride atom is getting vaporized on the surface of sodium ions, these electrons released by the sodium atom may jump into the vacant site of sodium atom. So if this is the sodium atoms which are considered like this, one or two of the electrons get jumped into the vacant anionic site. So this vacant anionic site is called the F center. This vacant anionic site is called the F center. So this electron released by the sodium ion occupying an anionic site causes an F center, which is called as Farben center. Farben center makes sure of that the number of metals present with respect to the number of non-metals is different. In this case, the number of metals present here is more because one of the position of chloride ions is occupied by an anion. This leads to a defect called metal excess defect. So metal excess defect is basically due to the positioning of an electron released by a metal during bonding and occupying that electron getting occupied at a site called Farben center site, or it is also called F center. This is one type of metal excess defect, and the other type of metal excess defect is one of the metal ion getting positioned themselves at an interstitial position. So if one of the metal ion gets itself interstitial site, gets itself occupied on the interstitial site, then that type of defect is called the metal excess defect. So metal excess defect causes of two reasons. One, if it is for anions, that is because of anions released by the metal ions, which anions are occupying the F center, whereas in the other case the metal ions itself occupying the interstitial position. So these two are types of metal excess defect. Next we'll come across metal deficiency defect. For a metal deficiency defect, what we observe is a loss or lesser number of metal ions. For example, metal deficiency defect. This comes into play when there is a lesser number of metal ions present. For example of FeO complex. If you consider FeO, ferrous oxide, even though we write the formula of ferrous oxide as FeO, its actual formula is Fe 0.950 to Fe 0.980. That is, if you consider 100 atoms of FeO, out of the 100 FeO atoms we have 100 Fe atoms in the form of Fe2 plus. In that 100 Fe2 plus atoms will replace 5 Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus. So here we are replacing Fe2 plus by Fe3 plus ions, which leads to an additional charge of some positive charges, which can be overcome by adding some electrons. This deficiency of metal of exact 100 to 95%, exact of 100% to 95% or 98%, this deficiency of 95.95.98 when compared to FeO1. So this ratio of difference is called the metal deficiency defect. This is called the metal deficiency defect. So this is all about the imperfections present in a solid crystal, that is stoichiometric, impurity defect and non-stoichiometric defect.